Talking to me?
No.
Oh. Okay. Over the next 2 days, so today and Monday, we are going to talk about 4 vocabulary words and how they fit in with everything. Okay. So there will be no need for calculators particularly today. Like everything is just based on a picture. Okay? So the first of the 4 vocabulary words we need to know today is vertical angles. Angles 1 and 3 are vertical angles because we say that they're across they're across from each other. Okay? They are formed when 2 lines intersect and we pick 2 angles that are across from each other. Okay? Have you seen a picture like this before? Yeah. Okay. Do you have any idea about what could happen here with these 2 angles? What'd you say? Oh, I thought you were answering my question. Okay. Any idea of what is going to be true about angle 1 and angle 3? Okay. So I've traced angle 1. Does that look like I traced angle 1? Do you think so? Okay, so I'm going to put this on angle 3. Are they the same?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I put the word in the wrong spot. Will you forgive me? Okay. The word that goes here is what? Same. Do you remember? Think back. What's the geometry word for same? Congruent. Congruent means they're the same measure. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to make this little mark on angle 1 and this little mark on angle 3. And we're going to write down here that angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. Okay. Anytime we have vertical angles, we are going to have congruent angles. Okay. Is there another pair of vertical angles in that picture? Yeah. Angle 2 and angle 4. Are angle 1 and angle 2 vertical from each other? No, they are not. So I know that there are 2 angles in the picture, but they have to be across from each other. One way that I like to really remember this, V starts with what letter? Oh, I meant to say vertical starts with what letter? And your answer would have been V. Okay. What do these look like when you trace them? Oh. So this looks like a V, right? This looks like a V. Okay, fine. How about this? V, V. Okay, and the V's touch. V for vertical. Yay. Yes. Okay. Ugh. Whose room is adjacent to my room? Whose room? The lightning teacher. There's a new math teacher next door. Her name is Miss Polinsky. Okay. Miss Polinsky's room is adjacent to mine. What does adjacent mean? Okay, it's like next to. It's like my next door neighbor person, okay? Me and Miss Polinsky have adjacent rooms because what? What do we share? We share a wall. Okay? We also share a love for math. Yes, I think I heard somebody say that. No? Okay. We share a wall. Okay? So when we talk about adjacent angles, we're going to go a little bit out of order here. On the second set of blanks, I want you to write the words next to. They're next to each other. That's the first thing that you pointed out about Miss Polinsky's room being adjacent. Okay? Miss Polinsky, her room and my room share a wall. Do you see these angles right here, angle 5 and angle 6? It's not a wall, okay? But they share what we call a side. Okay, they share a side, kind of like me and Miss Polinsky share a wall. And then they also have to share what we call this vertex point, okay? They have to be connected down here also, okay? So two angles that are next door neighbors, they share a side, they share that vertex point, okay? I'm going to come up to this picture right here. Can somebody raise their hand and give me an example of two angles that are adjacent in this picture? 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 2 and 3, 1 and 4, okay? Like these two angles right here are adjacent because they share that side. These two angles are adjacent because they share that side. Okay. Okay. Since we want to be very chatty right now with our neighbors, I'm going to give you a subject to talk about. You and your elbow partner are going to talk about what you think you remember about the words complementary and supplementary. Ready, set, go. That's not what I was trying to send.
What's the homework then? You guys name the angle? Name what it is?
Huh?
What's the homework? Just name what it is.
We're not even close to being there yet. Okay. Who remembers what complementary means? Ellie? Oh, she just asked, is it like equals 90? What do you think?
I don't know.
Well, what does this little box mean right here? 90 degrees. Okay. So, complementary angles are two angles in which the sum, because that means we add, is 90 degrees. Okay. So, we have complementary angles when we can take two angles, add them together, and they equal 90 degrees. In this picture, our two complementary angles are also adjacent. They don't have to be adjacent to be complementary. If you have a 30-degree angle and a 60-degree angle, those are complementary because they add to 90. Okay? Now, we'll get back. Okay, hold on. I want to show you this meme. Get it? They're complementing each other. Okay. Thank you for laughing, Channing. All right, so if complementary means two angles add to 90, what does supplementary mean? They add to 180. All right? So the sum of two angles that add to 180 makes them supplementary. Okay? So if we add the two angles together, it should equal 180. Okay, now, what in this picture tells us that angle 9 and angle 10 are going to equal 180? What's true about that picture? What do they make? It makes a straight line. Okay? Now, angles 9 and 10 are adjacent, but they don't necessarily have to be adjacent in order to be supplementary. You can have an angle over here that equals 100 and an angle over here that equals 80, and those would be considered supplementary. Okay? All right, what I want you to do is, with your elbow partner, write a word in each one of those boxes from the four above. Yes, but I don't agree with your answer to 3. Okay, 3 and 4 have 2 different answers. I'm just going to throw that out there. Yeah, you have 2 different answers for this. So, like, these 2. What word can you write to describe that? Yeah, write it. There are a couple of them that could have 2 words written down. So there are 2 different, adjacent is one that you can write. I like that. You can have that written down. I see it. Okay, but also you see how to make this really. Yeah. Yes, and I will tell you that you can go back and look at these 2. There's another word you can write on each of those. How do I figure that out?
Oh, this is the name.
So I don't think this should be complementary because they make a straight line. And neither one of those words are right because these are across from each other. Okay. You see my iPad? There it is. All right, let's look at number 1. Jacob Tanner, what did you write down on number 1? All right, Jacob wrote complementary. Do these two angles add up to be 90 degrees? Yeah, we know that because of this 90-degree angle. Did anybody else write a different word? What'd you write? Is Landon right that these two are adjacent? Yeah, because they share this side right here. So I want you to make sure you have both of these words written down. I would want to see both answers. Okay? Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Okay, let's look at number 2. Amari, what word did you write down for number 2? I'm asking Amari what she put.
That's what I put. Adjacent.
You never said a word. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Adjacent. Do these two share a side? Yeah, these are adjacent. Now, I have some people sometimes think that these two are supplementary. And my question to you, do these two make a straight line? No, they do not. So these are not supplementary because these two do not add to 180. Okay? But let's look at number 3. Okay? Now, I will tell you this right now. An angle cannot be vertical and adjacent. They're either one or the other or not at all. Okay? So I have a question. Are these two angles next to each other or across from each other? They are next to each other because they share a side. So one of the words that you need to have written down is adjacent because these two angles share a side. What's the other? These are not vertical. I heard someone say supplementary. How do we know that these two angles are supplementary? What's the thing we're looking at? What did you say, Channing? They make a straight line. Okay? Now, we're just going to kind of have to get used to, in this picture, when they're adjacent versus when they are vertical. Notice number 4 has a very similar picture. But do you notice how this time angle 1 and angle 2, they are not next to each other. They are across from each other. Number 4 is when we have vertical angles, okay? All right, Carlos, what do you think about number 5? All right, Carlos said that number 5 is supplementary. Matthew, is 116 plus 64 equal to 180? Yeah, okay, so Carlos is right. Good job, Carlos. Okay. In number 6, Charmony, what is true about these two angles? 23 plus 67 equals 90. So these are complementary angles.